So at the end of the last video, I indicated to you that I wanted to spend a little more time talking about this idea of broadcast and receive, and that I personally think that once you start to see that idea of using messages that different sprites and the stage are passing back and forth to each other, you're able to write much more complicated, involved programs or stories much more easily and much more quickly. So let's work on that in this video. Right now you'll notice that we've pretty much done this all in a straight sequence of code. When the green flag is clicked, do this, do this, do this. And this isn't too bad because Abby's only got a small handful of commands. Devin's only got a small handful of commands. The stage only has a small handful of commands. And in fact, even if we hadn't done this, we could have still kept it with when the green flag is clicked, wait 11 seconds or whatever it had gotten to by the end of the last video, and coordinate everything. But as we start to grow our stories, as we have more than 2 characters, maybe we have a dozen characters, maybe they're not all on the stage at the same time, right? You're telling 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed, and at the beginning all the 5 monkeys are on the bed, but over time some of the monkeys disappear. Right? How do we coordinate who's supposed to do what and when? Well, what I like to do is to sort of back off for a second and think about what's the big picture. What are the different phases that my story goes through? At the moment, this particular story, I think, goes through 3 phases. It goes through the places everybody phase, it goes through the joke-telling phase, and it goes through the laugh track phase, or the joke is over phase. And one way to help coordinate that, one way is to separate all of these pieces out, right? I mean, let's go back to Devin. Devin at the moment has everything under one script, and that's divided into his places everybody phase, his storytelling phase, and his laugh track phase. And one way to keep this easier to understand is, rather than mashing them all together and trying to remember where did we split them apart, is to actually split them into different parts using this broadcast and receive. And the idea then is that we can use these receive messages to coordinate those 3 phases. And I've only have one kind of message. I have the joke is over message at the moment, but I also have a phase for tell the joke, and I also have a phase for places everyone. Okay, and so what I can do is take Devin's script and divide it up into those stages. Places everybody, do this. Tell the joke, do this. Joke is over, do this. Right? Let me throw this away because I copied it over. Throw this away for now. I'm going to do the same thing for Abby. Abby has her places everybody code and her tell the joke code. Right? And so let's add that in here. We can say to Abby, this is your places everybody phase. Here is your tell the joke phase, and here's your joke is over phase. And the backdrop has the joke is over phase, because it doesn't do anything special at places everybody, because it doesn't change. It doesn't do anything special during the... So not every sprite has to have every one of those phases, right? Not every sprite has to have every one of those phases. Abby and Devin do. The stage only has the one phase. And so the real advantage now is we can divide it out in those phases. Let me show you a little quick trick here. Again, I told you I'm a little bit OCD. I like things nice and neat. These have gotten divided around. I can start to kind of put these in order if I like. I can do things like this and sort of line them up again. But if you don't want to do that, if you right-click on the stage, or sorry, not on the stage, but on the area where the code is written, you notice that one of the things here that I can do is clean up the blocks. And I love that this just puts them all nice and neat, puts them nice and lined up for me to work with. Devin, same thing, clean up the blocks. Boom, I've got everything exactly where I want it to be. Perfect. And this one. So now we're ready to go. Let's tell the joke. So I'm going to click the green flag, and nothing happens. How come? Well, the reason nothing happens is I took out any instructions about when the green flag is clicked, what should happen. Okay? So I have to have that back in. I mean, I have all my sprites listening for messages, but nobody's actually sending those messages at the moment. And so what I'm going to do is go back to the stage. And I told you, this is just a personal thing. You can put this anywhere, but I kind of like using the stage manager as my overall director and coordinator. And so the idea is the stage manager is going to say, when the green flag is clicked, he needs to broadcast places everybody. Right? Tell everybody to go where they need to go. And then he needs to broadcast, tell the joke. And then we could even say he needs to say broadcast, the joke is over. I could do something like this. Some of you hopefully are already thinking, wait a minute, that's not going to work very well, right? That's not going to work very well because if I run this, notice what happens. Everything all happens simultaneously. Why? Well, because we broadcast places everybody, which told Abby and Devin to start to do their resets. We then immediately broadcast tell the joke, so we told them to start telling the joke. And then we immediately started to tell the joke is over, which started the sound effects, right? So basically, as soon as the green flag was pressed, the sound effects started, right? Now, what we really want to do here is to not use the broadcast, but in this particular case, I actually want to use broadcast and wait. I want to say places everybody. And as the director of a play, I know I did this. When I said places everybody, I had to give them whatever amount of time it took them to reset. And so what broadcast and wait does is this is a blocking call again. It says send everybody to their starting positions and get them ready to go. In fact, I don't even need to have the wait 1 second anymore in here, because I can just say, tell everybody to go to their places, and as soon as they're ready, cool, we're ready to go. So broadcast places and wait. Now, broadcast tell the joke and wait. And again, what this does is it signals anybody who's listening to start to tell the joke. But now there's a signal that's going on in the background of all of this. It's saying, I know that Abby is still running her code. I know that Devin is still running his code. Okay. Notice that Abby still has this joke is over broadcast, so I'm going to get rid of that one because I'm moving that out of Abby's control and into the control of the stage manager. And so now this one, it turns out, doesn't matter whether it's broadcast and wait or not. It's going to be broadcast, and I'm not waiting for them to finish up. Oops, it's the joke is over signal, right? And so if you look at this, this is sort of the master script, right? The stage manager has this master script. Broadcast places everybody and wait till they're there. Broadcast tell the joke and wait until they're all done. Broadcast the joke is over. I don't have to wait until they're done because this is the last thing I'm going to do. Okay? And now we went to places everybody. We're telling the joke. And everything works. Okay? And the nice thing about this is now if I change the way the program works, I don't have to go in and change timing for later pieces due to changes in timing in the earlier pieces. We're actually going to see that in our very last video on this segment.